Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Everybody, I'm Erin with FM99 and I'm hanging out with Phil from All That Remains.
Hi, everybody. I'm Phil from All That Remains.
How's your day been going so far?
Well, it's been going pretty well. I went and I got what was it? I got new batteries for my key fob because they ran out for my.
Ooh, so fun, exciting. So quarantine obviously has given everybody like so much time to do all sorts of things. Do you think this has been beneficial for you guys as a band? Has it been productive?
I wouldn't say it. Yes, there are things that we've taken advantage of the time off to do. We got some guys in the band that weren't familiar with a program called Pro Tools, which is what we use to record our records with.
Yeah.
We're getting some schooling on that, making sure everyone's up to speed, so that way we can send ideas over the internet as opposed to just having to get together for
Oh yeah.
majority of our career. Whenever we want to write or whatever, we've had to actually be in the same place, and that's something that really, it's been a while since that's actually been necessary. Ever since you've got Pro Tools and stuff like that, you don't really have to be in the same place, and certain programs make it much easier, and so you got three dudes that are over 40 that have been kind of lax on keeping up to date with the modern recording process. So we spent some time doing that. I personally built a home studio at my house, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I think I'd have preferred to go on the tour that we had booked. We were about with Hell Yeah. And
I'm gonna say most people would say that.
Heard that, but if the consolation is that we've made it easier to make records and made it easier to communicate with each other and come up with ways to stay in touch with our fans and entertain our fans without actually having to be on the road. That's I suppose that's as nice of a consolation.
Yeah. I mean, things are different right now, so you kind of have to adapt and change to please everybody.
Yeah.
But do you think that you guys prefer using the Pro Tools stuff, or would you rather be in a studio all together, bouncing ideas off each other right there, or?
There's definitely something to be said for being in the same place, because you'll come up with an idea and you'll be trying something and trying to articulate what you're thinking or trying to get someone else to understand it, and that'll make someone else's brain start working and they'll come up with ideas. So when we're writing stuff, there's a no rule. You're not allowed to say no, right? You can say, I'm not into that, but we'll try it.
Yeah.
Always have to try it. And the reason you have to try every idea is because even if the idea that's trying to be related to someone else isn't good, a third person may be like, ooh, that made me think of this and that.
Exactly.
So we miss out on that. And so I think that there's always going to be value being in the same room. But this does allow us to come up with ideas on our own and send them to other people and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and do it in real time. Everyone's heard of the cloud. Well, Pro Tools has access to the cloud as well. So I can put an idea down, put it on the cloud, and Jason, our drummer, can grab it right after I put it up there, put some drums down on it, and then
send it right back.
I can grab it right away. So you can literally have the ideas bouncing back and forth, within minutes. And it's even easier than emailing a whole project. It's all there for everyone to access all the time, And so
it is really nice. That's very convenient. So during this quarantine, I mean, I don't know if you're a big like Netflix streaming kind of guy, but have you been binging any shows?
Oh, no, I don't watch any like entertainment shows. The last thing that I watched that was like an episode show, I watched The Walking Dead for a while, but even that, I kind of like, once they got to Alexandria and Negan kind of, once the first shock of Negan coming in and the people in Alexandria fighting with Negan, once that kind of wears off, I kind of was like, I can't be
done.
episode entertainment stuff. I'd much rather do something that's.
Have you discovered a new hobby, maybe?
I spend more time playing guitar than I used to. I got nice. I got a new 7-string, and I've been messing with 7-strings.
Ooh.
Never owned a 7-string before, and it's cool to have that extra string down there, and so I've been messing with that and playing more guitar. I shoot a little more.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
that sounds like fun, though. I mean, shooting guitars, what's not to love?
Boom, loud noises,
Exactly. So we've heard you're a bit of a Taylor Swift fan. I've got to ask, do you think that you could see the band possibly doing a Taylor Swift cover at some point in the future?
A Taylor Swift cover, I don't think that that's out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a song that I think that we could really do justice to. But again, I don't think it's out of the question. We're one of those bands that doesn't really feel limited as to what we're allowed to do or what we should. When Slayer was around and they were active, Slayer put out a record and everyone knew what it was going to sound like. It was going to sound like All That Remains will put out a record, and there's a good chance we'll surprise you, and that's by design. So maybe we will do one in the future. Maybe we won't. I don't know, but it's certainly not something that's off the table.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be very interesting to hear. So I'd be looking forward to it.
I can't get enough Taylor Swift. So
what do you think? Because her sound has kind of changed a little bit. How do you feel about that? You like it? I'm assuming you're a fan of it still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the pop stuff that she does. So her early work, her first few records were very, very country records. And I couldn't say that I can't say that I'm not a fan of them. I think they're good. I like them. But as she matured and became more of a pop artist, I think that her songwriting, first of all, got better. Performances got better. And I think that the growth musically has been all positive. I will say that Lover wasn't my favorite record, but Folklore is phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah.
My favorite Taylor Swift record is probably 1989, and I have a friend that I argue with. He's a big fan of Red, and Red is a phenomenal record. There are songs on Red that I absolutely love. Some of my favorite songs are on Red, but I think 1989 is my favorite record. There were some people that weren't receptive to Reputation. Great record. So for the most part, most of the stuff that Taylor's done, I'm a fan of, and I think the progression has been cool.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting to see all the different genres she's kind of just, graduated to in a sense. Yeah, it's really cool. But so kind of going back to you guys, I know you guys were kind of talking about making a new album.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is going to happen within the next year or so? Definitely.
We're looking to have a record out, if not first quarter of next year, then second or early part of second quarter, so springtime.
Awesome. I mean, how do you think this one might differ from previous ones? I know you said you never know what to expect with you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, our guitar player, Ollie Herbert, passed away a couple of years back. So this will be the first record that we write without him. So big part of the writing process for so long. It's going to definitely have some different elements, and it's going to sound different. Mike and I were, we've always been a big part of the writing as well. So it's not completely different, but there's going to be some noticeable changes, I'm sure. It's something that I can't say that it's just going to be weird. We haven't written a record without him.
No, I'm sure that's going to be a huge change. I mean, that's like, I can't even imagine going through that. But I'm sure that you guys are just going to come through, and he'll probably be looking down, super proud of it. Like, he's probably up there rocking right now. Like, but so you guys do tour all the time. Obviously, right now it's not really happening, unfortunately. But if we happen to get back to touring next year, is there some place that you've always wanted to go to, always wanted to play it, but you just haven't, for whatever reason, been over there yet?
There's parts of gotten to that I'd like to go to. we spent most of our time in Western Europe, and there's a lot of countries in Eastern Europe that are very underserved.
Yeah.
Music and American artists, and I would love to go and I want to play in as many places as we can. I'd love to get back to South America.
Got to collect those flags.
Yeah, I've got a Mexican flag over here. I've got an Argentinian flag over on the wall on that side, a big one. I've got a Chilean flag, Brazilian flag. The people in South America are ravenous for American metal. And when you go down there, they let you know that they love you. And I'll see it in my streams a lot of times. People will jump into the stream. I stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Fill the Remains, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on the East Coast time. People will jump into my stream and they're super excited if they see their flag. Like if a kid's from Mexico,
yeah.
Whoa, they're super excited. And
that's got to make you feel so good too.
I love streaming. It's a really, really nice. It doesn't replace touring, but it's a nice placeholder, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I get on the stream and I sing All That Remains songs. I'll play the track and I'll just sing over it and do it live, and people dig it. People love it, and I love performing. So it's not as cool as being on stage, but it's still performing.
Yeah. And it's almost like it's a little more intimate in a sense, because it is just you there and you can see all the fans and what they're saying, and it's got to be cool. It
is. It's great, and it also, it's a great way to interact and talk, for the most part, I've only been doing it for a few months now. So my like the chat will roll by, but it doesn't roll by too fast yet
you can't keep up with it.
That's nice. And as more people come in and word gets around and stuff, if the chat starts getting to the point where it goes too fast, you can slow it down, hit slow mode and stuff. But I'm gonna be as interactive as I can be for as long as I can be. I don't want it to be a situation where people feel like they're showing up and there's a barrier between me and them.
Yeah.
I can't address them. It might get to the point where someday I have to only allow people that are following or subscribing or whatever to talk, so that way I can actually still focus on them. But still, I want it to be as interactive as I can make it. So.
No, that's awesome. So we do have a question here. It says, what tour was the best learning experience about being on the road?
Probably the first time we toured with GWAR, which is back in 2000, the end of 2004. They took us out, and it was the first really decent tour that we did. It was the first time we were playing decent venues, and like we showed up and there's catering, and the tour manager, Eddie, he was like, "Did you guys eat yet?" And we were like, "You mean we can eat that?"
What?
Yeah, go ahead. That's for everybody. And we're like, "Holy cow, this is the coolest thing ever." So GWAR really, really took us under their wing and really just kind of showed us the ropes, and were so generous and so kind and so supportive of a young band starting out. So that showed me how you're supposed to treat bands that you're on tour with when you're ahead.
Yeah.
And that stuck with us. All That Remains has always been the band that says, if there's catering, everybody gets it. There's no, we have to eat first and then everyone leftovers or anything. None of that stuff. There's bands that do that. The headliner has to eat first and et cetera. Yeah. We've never done that because everyone is at that. Everybody on the tour is there to do the same thing. You're there to perform and entertain the crowd. And if the headliner didn't want the openers on the show or wants to treat them bad, then they're not helping the openers do what they're there for, which is get the crowd ready for the headliners. It's a collaborative team effort, not just All That Remains in our crew, but whatever bands we're on tour with. And it's the same thing when we're supporting a band. We're there to help the headliners. So what the says, that's it. That's the way it goes. They say it, we do it. Cool. We're here to support you guys, and it's not an ego thing for us. So we try to live that way, and that was really shown to us by GWAR. They've got a huge stage show and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
always did their best to make sure that we had as much, had room on stage to move around. Sometimes it was tight, but that's the way it is because they've got, and we've always had tons of respect and tons of appreciation for the way that GWAR behaved and treated us and the example they set for us. And we've always tried to follow that example since.
Yeah. I mean, would you say majority of the bands that you were with treated you like that? Or would you say there were some that maybe weren't as friendly as GWAR was?
The more mature a band is and the longer they've been around, the higher probability that they're going to treat you right. We've toured with some bands that got big when they were young, and they were not cool. That's all I'm going to say. We've toured with bands that their first big headliner and we're supporting, and they were just not cool. They wanted everyone to know that they were in charge, and it was just a big, no fun, and just not cool. But been around that have toured that kind of know that have that don't have,
they know the process,
they know how it goes. They're always the bands that are the coolest to be on tour with, and they really do. The vast majority of bands really go out of their way to take care of the other bands on tour.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and I'm glad that you guys treat everybody equal playing field. That's so cool.
We tried.
Yeah, no, I mean, GWAR showed you right, But I think that's about it for us today. So it's been great talking to you, Phil.
Thank you very much for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for chatting with us. Check them out whenever they do go on tour again, and we are looking forward to that new album.
Yeah, I'm Phil That Remains all over the internet. So Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I put up videos from the stream and other stuff. So just check out my stuff on the internet at Phil That Remains.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a good one.